Yeah, you have to be at a different level of consciousness to change your life for abundance. You cannot experience your dreams and your desires by staying where you are on a conscious level. You have to move up in awareness to manifest big stuff. And here's the reason why. Because your brain works with switches, different modes of operation. There's a part of your brain called the RAS, the reticular activating system. And that part of the brain will search and pick up a pattern. And when it picks a pattern up, it stays there. So you have to do something you've never done before to get something you've never had before. And you have to shift your consciousness or your awareness. And here's how it works. First thing is, what are the levels of these consciousness that you have to get into? First, where are you right now? What level of consciousness you are. So the majority of people are in what we call three-dimensional awareness, consciousness. That means they let things influence them. They don't influence things. So in other words, they are the reaction of it. They're not the cause of it. So when you want to manifest, you have to be the cause so you can get the effect. Most people here are living on the effect. Got it? Now, that's called three-dimensional consciousness. The next level is called quantum consciousness. Quantum consciousness is now when you start to make strides. That's where you start to get the game now to manifest. Quantum consciousness now is the awareness of reality, the awareness that the world and everything around you is not as you were taught. It is not solid. That's where you start to get into now manifesting greatness. Then we move from quantum consciousness, then we move to the epitome of consciousness, which is called higher self consciousness. Higher self consciousness is infinite consciousness, is infinite awareness. It's coming from your true source, your authentic higher self. When you can get into that level, that's when things speed up. But first, you got to get out of 3D consciousness. So we got to move up, right? So what's the first, Mark, how can I get out of 3D consciousness and then enter the quantum consciousness, and then the quantum consciousness take me to the higher self-consciousness? Where's the beauty? Once you enter quantum consciousness, you're locked in with higher self-consciousness. It's a 2-for-1. So your job is just to get out of 3D consciousness. So how do you do it, Mark? Here's how you do it. You have to become aware of certain things in your environment. So there's two things you have to become aware of. We will start to shift you into the quantum consciousness era for our region. Well, let me break down what quantum consciousness basically is. Quantum consciousness is this. It's you now innately know that how the nuts and bolts of reality work. That's it. Once you know the nuts and bolts of reality, you're on another level. It's very profound. In simplistic terms, when you enter quantum consciousness, you realize that everything is pretty much an illusion, an energy distribution. Nothing is physically real, and you can manipulate it. So now you can become the cause, which you will reap the effect. That's quantum consciousness. Now, to get you out of quantum consciousness, what's the first step to realize? Step number 1, that you are a multi-dimensional being. Multi-dimension means that you're not just confined to one place. That's it. You'll start to graduate to quantum consciousness. You start to see, wait a minute, I'm not really confined to this space. No, you're not. That opens up your awareness more. So now your awareness starts to seek, what else is there? What else can I do? What else can I learn? Now you're making strides. Okay. So now you know you're a multi-dimensional being. Since you know you're a multi-dimensional being, the next step now if you're a multidimensional being, this is what physics says now, you can't be who you are. So you have to change the way you look at yourself now. You can no longer look at yourself as a singularity, as a single person, as this person. You can't, this is radical. You have to go, you can't even look at yourself as a human anymore. Because you're gonna stay stuck in 3D consciousness. You have to, you hear the term human being. It's actually, it's actually backwards is the correct way. It's actually being human. You're actually a being playing a human role. You're not a human being. Okay? So, what happens now is once you can understand this and you can get away from who I am, any of that, now you classify yourself as a what, as a it, as something else. You never say that's who I am. No, you no longer, you cannot be classified anymore. You cannot be pinpointed. You are not that or this or him or her. You're just it. You're what? You just see yourself as multi-dimensional. That's the best way to put it. So you're not a human being, you're a multi-dimensional being. Take the human out of it. Because here's why that's very important. The plug-in in your mind, in your consciousness known as your ego. If you're associating yourself as a human, you're also associating yourselves with all the struggle and the lack and the default things that come with being human. Humans are broken a lot. Humans have limited capacity. Humans cannot see beyond the big picture. So if you're seeing yourself as that, you automatically put yourself in the survival mode, which is what you're naturally evolved to be in your ego. That's what your ego loves to see, the human side. However, now you move into the multidimensional side. That's when you level up from 3D consciousness. Now you're in quantum consciousness, man. Now, this is where the game gets fun. This is where you become a wizard at manifestation. This is where you can go and win the lottery like that. Start a 6-figure business, change your health, change everything, change your life, your house, all of that. Now you have the whole deck of cards available to you. Picture it as a card dealer, a card deck. You have all the cards at your hands. You no longer get a couple cards. You have the entire deck. You can pick and choose whatever card you like to play, and they all become winner. You can just have kings and kings and queens and queens and queens and aces all if you want. Why? Because when you're in the quantum consciousness state of the multidimensional state, you have infinite options available to you. And the most powerful option you get now is introduce you to your real self, your higher self. It introduces itself to you. Welcome, Mark. I see you have found the secret. Let's get busy making miracles. Now, the higher self will push everything you want or desire into your consciousness through your subconscious mind, which it uses to help you to manifest. So, I mean, that's it. If you can just see yourself as that multidimensional being, your awareness now jumps into quantum consciousness. Now, you can start to use the tools more effectively, such as visualization, such as if you like to script, and you got to get with affirmations, and then you start to become a certain state. You start to adopt this state. Now, let me tell you something. Once you hit the quantum consciousness state now, and you start to see that you're a multidimensional being now, your subconscious mind automatically now starts to bring things into your life effortlessly. Because what happens is now, when you're walking around, if you desire something, say, hey, I would like to have that, your subconscious will automatically make you feel what that thing would feel like for you to have it as normality. See, if you're still in the 3D world, then your mind would say, well, how do I get that? How am I going to have it? But when you're in your quantum consciousness state, it's not how do I get that, how do I have it, is when am I experiencing that? You don't ever have to worry about how or if. It's only a matter of when. And your higher self jumps in and says, here's a timeline. Do this, do that. Does that make sense now? You see how it works? Mark, what books do you recommend? Well, the Cheat Code to Master the Game of Life, I have that book. But it's not a book. If you really want to dive into this stuff, you have to get into my private community, my school community. This is where I teach you to unlock that, create plasticity, and manifest anything you want or desire. I should be here in the description on the page or in the pinned comments. So sign up and get into that school community so you can unlock this part of your consciousness. This part of your consciousness is not meant for you to unlock in the 3D. They're not this. There is no tutorials you ever find in your school books, or you can read about this, that is going to help you. Okay. Now, let's hear it out. Hey Mark, I tour the world and make millions. I'm going to guest list you next time my band rolls through Mark. Sounds good, man. Good, Troy. All right. Here's the next thing now. When you're in a quantum consciousness, you can actually freeze time. Time actually really slows down for you when you're in this. The years and the months, they seem like weeks now, because your awareness has leveled up. You see, you move from linearity, which is straight line, and you move to coordinates. You can jump from timeline to timeline. You don't have to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You could go from Monday to Sunday. You don't have to go January to March, April, May. You go jump from January to December, jump back from December to March. I'm just giving you an example. That's where your consciousness can take you. So you can literally go to the coordinate of your desires already been done, because in the infinite world of the quantum consciousness, in infinite multidimensional being. And by the way, let me specify what multidimensional being means for you and I. So this is what it actually means, a multidimensional being. Okay, so I'm here talking to you right now, but check this out. I'm also everywhere else and nowhere else all at once. So not only am I here, but I'm in every other space that exists, in every other dimension, in every other reality. My consciousness is, my awareness is. So this awareness I'm speaking to you from, I'm also infinite, I'm everywhere. So that literally means I know how to get whatever it is I desire. I have the life is already there, it's playing out for me already. One thing I have to do is tune it to my subconscious, so my subconscious can recreate it for me here. So not only my consciousness is there, but check this out. There's also an exact copy of Mark, this guy right here, and you as well. Not only an exact copy, but infinite copies of me with my own unique consciousness. But it's all still tied to my consciousness. So that version of Mark, so if anything I could think of, anything I want or desire, it's already being played out by exact copy of me. Anything you want or desire, it's already being played out by exact copy of you. And guess what? You can go there and get the information from your copy of whatever it did to become successful, bring it here. That's a multi-dimensional being. That's what we are. Yes, the important thing is this. Here's the problem, and I have somebody looking in the comment. This goes beyond logic. Someone asked me how. I'll get to that in a minute. This goes beyond logic, because in your plug-in mind, your conscious mind, this cannot make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't equate up. It doesn't add up. And that's because your conscious mind was not designed to see the big picture. It was only designed to keep you in survival mode. So it shrank its brain capacity, the part of the brain that uses it. It shrinks that down so it won't be able to see everything else. That's the simplest way to make sense of it. This is why I always say, if you're using logic to manifest, you're really debilitating yourself from your potential. That's why you have to become delusional to manifest. Now the question is, Mark, how is this possible? Quantum physics shows us this in the most simplistic equation. E equals mc squared. Basically, energy can never be created, can never be destroyed. Information cannot be created or cannot be destroyed. Information is spread all over the field. And then we add the next elegant part of the equation, which is quantum entanglement. Not only is information everywhere all at once, all information are connected beyond space and time. So let's bring it down. So how again? What are you and me? We're energy. We're information. Hence, we have to be everywhere all at once. Hence, multi-dimensional being. Remember, don't let your mind fool you. Don't let your brain fool you. Go take a look at your skin. Go touch your skin right now. Feels like flesh and bone? Well, you're severely being limited, my friend. Because if you put it on a microscope and you go deeper and deeper, you can see what makes your blood, what makes you alive is particles, the atom, the proton, the electron. That's what we're referring to. That's what you and I are. We're globbed up from these particles that make cells, molecules, tissues, bones, and human being. So hence, at the core of what you truly are is multi-dimensional information. So there it is. Your logical brain may be able to get a little bit, but it still can't put it into play. Bam! Now we're on a roll. Once you can grasp this information, only thing you have to do now is learn yourself. I mean, learn how to tune what you are. That's all it is now. There's no more manifesting or creating anymore. Where I'm just tuning now. I'm just tuning into the dimension and the reality, and I'm just bringing it here where my consciousness is experiencing it right now. That's all I want to do. I want to experience it right now, here. My other selves are already experiencing it. They're good. I just want to get a piece of the pie. See how that works? Someone says it can take a lifetime to know oneself. No, it cannot take a lifetime to know oneself, because you're not a self. It will take you a lifetime because you're trying to learn a self, but you can't learn something that you already are. So you're not a self. You are the field of information. You're everything. So you already learned it already. So get out of that thing, learn yourself. If you're learning yourself, I gotta figure out myself, I gotta figure out who I am. You're in ego world. You're gonna severely limit it. Nothing in you is broken, man. You don't have to fix anything. It's the ego attempting to control. You're already perfect in every aspect. Your energy, everything's already done. It's just your mindset, and you've been programmed through your subconscious mind, through the matrix, to make you feel or think that way. And that's the trap that a lot of people fall into. They run down the loop of the tail, of trying to chase their tail and never catch, like a dog trying to chase his tail and never catches it. The hamster on the wheel trying to get the cheese, never going to get it. That's how the game is set up for you here in the matrix. So get out of that self and get into the multi-dimensional aspect, and watch how your life change amazingly so fast. Keep going. Happy manifesting. See you next time.